You open Instagram to check one notification. 40 minutes later, you are watching video of someone's cat in Japan, and you have absolutely no idea how you got there. And the worst part, you feel worse than before you picked up your phone. Tired, empty, like you wasted something, but you can't stop. That's not a willpower problem, that's not laziness, that's your brain being hijacked by one of the most powerful neurochemical systems in your body. And today I'm going to show you exactly how it works, why it's getting worse, and what you can actually do about it. What is dopamine scrolling? First, let's clear up the biggest myth about dopamine. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. You do something good, dopamine fires, you feel good. Simple. But that's not quite right. Dopamine is actually the anticipation chemical. It doesn't fire when you get the reward. It fires when you expect a reward might be coming. This is why slot machines are so addictive. It's not winning that hooks you. It's the spin before you know whether you won or lost. Now think about your TikTok or Instagram feed. Every single swipe is a spin. You don't know if the next video will be boring or the most interesting thing you've seen all week. That uncertainty, that's the exact mechanism that makes gambling addictive, and it's been deliberately built into every social media app you own. You're not weak, you are playing against a billion-dollar machine that was engineered specifically to exploit this system in your brain. Why it feels so empty afterwards? So, if dopamine fires when we are scrolling, why do we feel so empty afterward? Here is where it gets really interesting. When you consume high stimulation content non-stop, repeat cuts, loud sounds, constant novelty, your brain starts to adapt. It says, okay, this level of stimulation is our new baseline, and anything that's less than this, boring, unbearable, not worth my attention. This is called hedonic adaptation, and it's why after 2 hours of scrolling, you literally cannot read a book, cannot have a normal conversation, cannot sit with your own thoughts for 30 seconds. It's not that those things got less interesting. Your brain's reward threshold just got raised so high that ordinary life can't compete anymore. A walk outside, a conversation with a friend, your own creativity, your own goals, they all feel flat, colorless, like they needed subtitles and a trading audio to be worth engaged with. And the terrible irony, the scrolling that was supposed to entertain you is actually destroying your ability to be entertained by real life. The science is getting alarming. I want to share something that genuinely shocked me when I read it. Researchers are now finding that Gen Z, the generation that grew up with smartphone, is showing cognitive patterns that look like accelerating brain aging. Not from drugs, not from trauma, from scrolling. The average Gen Z person spends over 6 hours a day on social media platforms. That's more time than most people spend sleeping. And what's happening inside the brain during that time? The prefrontal cortex, which handles focus, decision-making, impulse control, is getting less and less activation, while the reward circuitry is getting hammered constantly. Think about what that means long-term. Less ability to focus, less ability to delay gratification, less ability to sit with discomfort long enough to actually build something meaningful. This isn't about being anti-technology. I'm not telling you to throw your phone in a lake. This is about understanding what's happening, so you can actually make a choice instead of just reacting. How to actually take your brain back. Okay, so what do we actually do? I'm going to give you 3 things that are backed by neuroscience. Not drink more water advice, real specific tools. Delay, don't deny. Most dopamine detox advice tells you to go cold turkey. Delete everything, no phone for 30 days, and for most people that fails within 48 hours. Here's what actually works better: urge delay. When you feel the pull to open Instagram or TikTok, you don't say no, you just say not yet. Set a timer, even just 5 minutes. Do literally anything else. Make tea, look out the window, stretch. What you are doing is training your brain to tolerate the gap between the urge and the action. That gap, that's where your autonomy lives. Over time, that gap gets bigger, and you start to realize the urge is just a signal. not a command. Replace cheap dopamine with slow dopamine. Your brain will always need dopamine. That's not the problem. The problem is the source. Cheap dopamine, scrolling, clicking, swiping, instant, passive, leaves you empty. Slow dopamine, creating something, exercising, learning a skill, having a real conversation, finishing a task takes effort, but the reward lasts. The key is you have to do the slow things first, before you allow yourself the cheap things. Not because you are punishing yourself, but because you are retraining your brain reward sequence. Effort, then reward, not just reward. Even one thing per day counts. One page of a book, one walk without headphones, one meal without your phone on the table. You are not fixing everything overnight. You are just reminding your brain that delayed rewards exist. Audit your feed like it's your diet. You wouldn't eat junk food for every single meal and expect to feel good, but most of us have a completely junk food information diet and wonder why our minds feel sluggish. Spend 15 minutes this week, just 15, and unfollow or mute every account that makes you feel worse about yourself or the world after viewing it. Don't ask, is this content bad? Ask, how do I feel after I watch this? If the answer is anxious, envious, hopeless, or just empty, that account is not serving you. It's feeding the machine. Replace it with accounts that teach you something, make you laugh in a way that feels human, or show you someone building something real. Your feed is an environment, and you get to design it. Here is the thing I want you to leave with today. You are not weak for struggling with it. You are not broken. You are not chronically online because something is wrong with you. You are a human being with a completely normal brain that is being systematically targeted by tools designed by some of the smartest engineers on the planet. Knowing that doesn't make you victim, it makes you informed. And informed is where change starts. If this video made something click for you, share it with one person who needs to hear it. That's the slow dopamine version of going viral. And I will see you in the next one.